Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd make my year, my life. That'd be
All right,
awesome.
so the rain, candy rain gods.
It's Yuntaku Time with Akko and Tamo.
What does Yuntaku mean? It's an Okinawan word from the islands of Okinawa, which means chit-chat. We want to invite you to our kitchen table and include you in our chit-chat to explore new ways of thinking, to welcome different perspectives,
And we want to share ideas on how to love yourself, love your partner, and shower your children with love.
This is episode 14.
And the topic of the day is Minimalist Traveling with your little one. But before we get to that, let's talk about our recent happenings. So recently, we've been experiencing a lot, 2020, and
We had fires.
we had record-breaking fires. So we live on the West Coast, and
It was raining ashes.
yeah, the outside just looked like it was,
It's completely gray.
yeah,
And
it was,
our area wasn't as bad as some of the other areas we saw. That was crazy.
I mean, you couldn't even see 10 feet in front of
Yeah.
you. So it was pretty bad. And we can't go indoors because of COVID. We can't go outdoors because of the
Yeah.
fire. So it's like, where do you stay?
Right.
But on top of that, we had an earthquake.
2020s, what do you say to that, right? So for me now, I'm just waiting for aliens. And I'm sure for you, it would top it off if we have a day that it rains candy. How's
Oh,
that?
that'd be awesome. That'd make my year, my life. That'd be
All right,
awesome.
so the rain, candy rain gods, please,
Yes,
we're
listen to
requesting,
me.
yeah, requesting candy to be raining.
Oh man. So there's a lot that's been happening 2020, but you know, we just have to stay positive
Oh.
and try to get through the year
Yeah.
and create new opportunities.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for those who are listening, we sincerely hope that all your family, friends and family and colleagues are doing well. It's been really difficult times, but within those difficult times, there are seeds of opportunity that start to sprout. So let's look at it that way. Let's look at 2020 as a time to reset. We've been forced to reset. It's been very difficult psychologically to many people, financially. I mean, relationship wise, just everything has been placed on pressure. And so within that, please find an opportunity for growth. And once you start to look at life from that lens, the lens of opportunity, every single thing that happens is an opportunity for inner growth. And from the inner growth, you'll start to see a new beginning, something more beautiful on the outside. Just like for us too, when COVID first hit, it was difficult for us, right? I'm sure I was going through a slight depression, just being down, lethargy,
Me
things
too.
like that. And through that, we've looked for opportunities for growth, and now we've seen so much growth together.
Yeah, we
And
have.
our relationship has grown, just like we talked in previous episodes. We talked about seeing the relationship as fertile soil and continuing to fertilize and enriching the relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go into the topic of the day.
Yeah. So the topic of the day is minimalist traveling with your little one. And we just want to let you guys know we traveled with our daughter when she was about 4.5 months internationally. And to top it off, we went to Norway, which is an 11-hour flight, which is crazy because that's crazy for adults.
I want to share some of the experiences that we had, some of the worries going in.
Yeah.
And for us, we've been into more minimalist type travel. And when we say minimalist, we're not talking about people who just travel with their jacket and that's it. We had a backpack, but backpack is a very small 15-meter backpack, one for each of us. And that's taken us on a month-long trip throughout Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
For our honeymoon, that's what we did. Very small backpacks, and we made through it no problem.
No problem.
And so we're more on the minimalist side when we travel.
Yes.
And when we went to Norway with our daughter, we had to add one extra small suitcase, rolling suitcase.
So yeah, with our daughter, we had to add small carry-on, like a rolling carry-on, just for her essentials. I feel like there was a lot more of her essential than our essentials.
Right.
But so we just had diapers, bottles, and a breast pump.
Oh yeah, that did take up a little bit more space.
Yeah, a little bit more
too.
space. And for the diapers and wipes, we just had enough for a couple days until we found a grocery store that we can buy diapers and wipes from.
And that's one tip that we want to share with parents that would like to travel. Of course, it's a really difficult time to travel now, but for those adventurous and want to travel now, you don't have to worry about trying to bring everything you can. And again, there's babies all over the world being born. And so diapers are going to be most likely quite easy to find unless you're going to an area where going shopping is actually difficult. Then that's a different story. story, but most countries you go to the supermarket and pick up some diapers, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And if there's babies, there's other essentials that are sold that will work for your little one.
Exactly. So just to give you a list of what we had, we just had diapers and wipes for a few days worth, and then we had 3 bottles, I believe, 3 baby bottles and a breast pump. And that breast pump was actually much smaller as well because it was one of those wearable breast pumps where it's very compact. So we brought that with us, and that worked wonders for me and our daughter.
Yeah, true.
And then we just bought a few clothes for her, just a few fleece onesies, thinner onesies.
And a jacket.
Yeah, get one thicker jacket that she might need just because we went to Norway when it was slightly cooler.
And so we also had a beanie too. Yeah.
Just to make sure that we cover all ends for our daughter. So that's what we brought.
Yeah. And as for traveling at that time, again, like Akko mentioned, our daughter was about 4.5 months old, right? So being 4.5 months old, she's not going to walk. What we did was we didn't even take a stroller. We just carried her
That's
in a
right.
carrier.
That's right.
And the carrier actually took up a little bit of space, didn't it?
A little bit. It's the Ergo baby carrier that we had.
So that's what we did. And yes, as long as your baby is, healthy, doing well, you want to talk to your doctor about this, but we got the okay from our doctor.
Yes. Yeah. I've had friends where they were going to travel to a place where there were more concerns for measles and whatnot. So she was able to vaccinate her 6-month-year-old at that time at 6 months for the MMR. So just to give you guys that info, like that is possible if you want to travel to countries where the measles outbreak is more prevalent.
And again, you always want to talk to your doctor about this.
Exactly.
And so in another sense, for us, it was a little easier that we went when we went, because if we were to go with our daughter now, it would be a lot more difficult just because she's running around. She can't stay still.
Nope.
She's very curious all over everywhere.
Yes.
And so right now would be much more difficult at 1.5 years old.
Yes.
So that's something to consider. And that's what I had been told when I asked for advice from other parents. They said, yes, you want to travel when they're actually really young, and it actually works out. That was the case for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also did travel with her a couple more times before her 1-year birthday, and it actually worked out as well.
Flown, yeah, we flew probably 2 other times.
We've flown to Dallas.
And to
Hawaii.
Yeah, that's something to consider. So if you're considering traveling, that is a sweet spot.
Before they can be very mobile.
Right. For me, I think the 4 to 8 month mark was pretty nice.
Yeah, I think that was a really sweet spot. Although when she went to Hawaii, it was around 11.
Oh, was it? Okay,
yeah.
so let's say in our case, from about 4 to 11 months, around there. And then it just became a little bit more difficult because she started to stand, then she started to walk, crawl a lot more. Then it went into straight up running.
Yeah, she's a runner.
Yeah, so
She's a mover.
exactly. And so consider that if you are wanting to
Travel. Yeah, if you want to travel with their little one. And as for us, we are minimalist ourselves, like Tamo had mentioned. So we just bring a few underwears because we can just easily hand wash it and just hang it and it'll just dry the next day. And then we bring a few tops and 1 or 2 bottoms. And that's literally it. And we usually stay at places where they do offer a washer and dryer so that we can wash our clothes when we're there.
And so for that, we look at Airbnb. If not, there are some hotels that offer that. And worst comes to worst, we just wash it in the sink.
Yes.
And in regards to clothes, like Akko said, we don't carry that much, maybe about 2 to 3 articles per. So if it's a shirt, 2 to 3, including what we're wearing.
Yes.
The same for underwear. Pants, maybe it's just 1.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
1 or
at
2.
most. And so for those, it helps if you have kind of performance fabrics, right? So if you have a thick pair of jeans or 100% cotton clothes, unless you have reactions to other type of
Like you're sensitive.
unless you're sensitive to other type of materials, you want to go with the performance fabrics because they're usually lighter, they're usually quicker to dry, which means it's easier to wash too. You wash it and you can hang it, it'll dry really quickly. And so what we've done is we found some pretty nice underwear and kind of shirts at Uniqlo. Uniqlo has that.
Super lightweight too.
Very lightweight. It's so compact when you pack it. So look at that that. And what we use is wool socks. Wool socks dries quick and it keeps you warm. It's nice cushioning. It's comfortable and it doesn't smell as much.
Yeah. Doesn't it prevent
Yes, it
bacterial
has
growth?
like antibacterial properties. So it's quite nice.
Yeah.
So I would look into that if you are interested.
Yeah, and then we pack everything in these small compartmentalized travel bags where you could expand it and then you can zip it up again to condense it.
Yeah.
So that's a really big help.
Yeah, it makes packing a lot cleaner and you know where everything is. It's much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Opposed to just throwing everything into the backpack itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And for that, we'll be linking everything that we use on our YouTube page. So come over, search for Yuntaku Time on YouTube. You'll see us and click through. And in the descriptions, we're going to be linking to all the products so that you can check it out. And if you're interested, check it out, buy it, see how it works out for you.
Yeah, and join the club.
And so, yeah, we carry everything in hiking backpacks. But it doesn't have any frames or anything. It's a smaller backpack.
Yes.
Because it's like I mentioned, it's only 15 liters. So it's a small backpack.
Yes.
But it has a waist strap. So that's a must.
Yeah, must, because you want to make sure that a lot of the weight is on your hips rather than your shoulders so that you don't fatigue quickly.
Yeah. And your shoulders fatigue very easily, whereas your hip can carry a lot more weight. Yeah. And then aside from that, what we do usually carry is a small chargeable battery, a USB power pack to keep our phones charged. In our case, it was used to USB charge Akko's breast pump, which is awesome because you can do both. And then also, if you have a tablet, we didn't bring any tablets or anything, but we did it through the phone. We charged the phone.
Yeah, we did. And we also never forgot to bring a raincoat, because you never know when it's going to rain. So one ultralight raincoat where we can kind of roll it up into this like small little ball.
And of course, yes, it does take space and I usually don't prefer it, but hey, it's a great insurance because you can cover yourself and your backpack with that and you're good to go.
Yeah. And I have to say, we probably use it more than 50% of the time that we bring it. And it could be, you can use it as a jacket.
Yeah, you can.
So a dual purpose.
And as for the footwear, we usually wear waterproof boots. That's not completely like bulky, but it's good enough to protect your ankles. Just because you're going to be carrying a little bit more weight, you want your ankles to be supported. So we wear hiking boots. It usually offers more grip.
Yes, it does.
Even when it's raining. So yeah, it's a really nice win-win. So we usually wear boots,
When we
especially
travel.
especially more international travel. Of course, if we're going to Hawaii, we're just going to get wear slippers most of the time, right? But,
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we do when we're traveling. We think about which country we're going to go to, and we look up the weather, whether it's going to be cold, hot, or if we need to bring all the spectrum to protect ourselves.
And as parents, when you travel, of course, we're going to be tired, and at the same time, we have to take care of our little one. Maybe it was a rough ride on the plane, whatnot. You're going to be tired, and your fuse is going to be shorter, right? So you want to make sure that you get a lot of rest. Have a buffer day of buffering, so that you can rest at wherever you're staying, get a good night's rest, good day's rest, and take some time, go slowly, and then the next day you guys can really enjoy exploring the sites a lot more fresh.
Oh yeah, I think when we went to Norway, I mean, because of the time change too, that first day that we arrived, we actually arrived later that day, so then the next day we just relaxed and really did nothing.
Right.
So always have that buffer day so that you can get that rest and you can be on your A game when you're ready.
Right. Because especially if you're traveling with your little one, you don't know the area, this is the first time you've gone to this place, you have to be a lot more alert. And so for that reason, again, having well rested and make sure you're hydrated, make sure you eat well too, so that you feel good and can continue and enjoy all the sights and experiences that the country has to offer. With that said, I've also read studies they done on fasting related to jet lag. And so I don't have the clear kind of schedule how you need to eat, but if you do kind of fast through the first day, meaning when you're traveling, and then when you get to the destination, if it's the correct time, if you start eating, supposedly you can get over jet lag a lot faster. So that's something to look into. Maybe if you search what jet lag fasting, the study might come up, so check it out.
Check it out. And also in regards to your little one and the plane, as long as they're less than 25 pounds, you guys can request a bassinet for them so that they can sleep so that they don't have to be sleeping on top of you.
Yeah, that's a great point. Which means we get the bassinet seat, which offers a little bit more space between the wall and yourself.
We had to pay a little bit more, like a little small fee, but it is so worth the fee.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, because you get extra space. You have a bassinet for your kid. Will the kid stay in the bassinet? Don't know. Just like our daughter, she didn't want to stay in there.
She didn't want to stay just because she's a co-sleeper. So she was like, what is this bassinet? And she really didn't take to the bassinet even when she was younger. So we had it just in case. And I think she slept in it for like an hour or two. But the rest, we just had to carry her.
Yes, we did. So if you would like to travel but worried about taking your little one, you want to, of course, do the pros and cons within, talk to your partner, see where your tolerances are. And usually it ends up being okay. We were kind of had a little bit of fear going into the first international travel just off the bat like that.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't even get any training from domestic flights. We went straight to the international.
Right.
And being 11 hours, we were a little more stressed in the beginning before we even went on the trip.
Yeah.
But it all works out at the end.
Right.
So try not to stress as much.
And enjoy.
Enjoy because it's going to work out.
Yep.
And you won't remember after a year.
Just remember the fun times.
Exactly.
All right. So the question of the day is, where have you traveled with your little one? Or if you haven't traveled yet, would you like to travel with your little one?
We love to hear from you. Please comment on our YouTube channel by searching Yuntaku Time.
All right. Till next time. Take care.
Bye.